Alrighty, so today we are going to talk about mosaics. Most of my students this week did not know what a mosaic was, so I'm going to quick review the technical art definition for you. A mosaic is a decoration on a surface made by setting small pieces of glass, stone, or tile of many colors into another material to make patterns or pictures. And the reason we study mosaics is because they are from around the world. It's not just here in the United States. And they've been made for hundreds of years. Some of the most beautiful ones that I have seen are from the Middle East in Iraq and Iran. They're beautiful mosaics that were done on the floors and the walls of some really beautiful buildings. And mosaics are pretty special because most of them are made out of materials like tile or glass, and then those pieces of tile or glass are pressed into a material like concrete, cement, or plaster. So they actually last for a very long time. They don't wear out like maybe cloths or fabrics do. They really, really last, and they're absolutely beautiful, and they're so unique. They're not like drawings or paintings, right? They're very, very different. So this one on top of the bird here is very old, and you can see how it's made out of little pieces of square tile, whereas the one on the bottom is much more recently made, and this one's made from broken pieces of glass as well as little square tiles that are kind of woven through the pattern. So they're very cool because they're from around the world. Some are very, very old, but people are still making mosaics today. My sister and I, for example, are gathering materials, some sea glass that was found on Lake Michigan, to make stepping stones for our gardens. So they are something that were made a long time ago to decorate and to make places look beautiful, but they're also still made today. Bird baths, stepping stones, walls, bathrooms. Sometimes the tile has these fancy patterns in it. Lawn furniture. There's lots of different reasons to make mosaics, and they're quite beautiful. So our project here today, we are going to be using paper and glue to make ours, because I don't expect you guys to have glass and tile at home, but maybe you do. Maybe you guys could search on Pinterest to make some stepping stones of your own, which would be pretty sweet. But anyways, so we're going to be choosing a catch-go food, so those foods that are really good for us, that are good to eat a lot of, that our bodies need a lot of, like those fruits and veggies. You're going to choose one of those go foods, and then you're going to draw out on a piece of paper. So we're going to move back over here to where I'm working, and this is the drawing that I did earlier. And maybe you guys are a little confused as to what this is. It's actually a melon. It's not a watermelon, it's an orange melon, or it's going to be. So I chose to not only do the slice of melon, but also the whole melon behind it, which is a little ambitious. This might take me a while. But anyways, then you are going to take some colored paper, or color some paper, that's fine too. We were actually able to purchase some mosaic squares, so some pre-cut paper squares. And what we're doing here is we are just going to cut them and glue them and arrange them on our picture. So you're just going to select the ones that you need. I think I'm going to use like green for the outside of my melon. Maybe I'll mix some colors together to kind of get the right colors that I want. Maybe some yellow would look good mixed in with these. And then once I get them how I want and the arrangement that I like, then I'm going to start gluing them down until I fill up my whole paper. Now the students here at school, some of them are going to have time to do the fruit or vegetable and the background all with squares, because they have 2 more weeks of art left. Some students are down to their last week of art, so they are just going to get done what they can get done. So whatever you guys have time for, or materials for that matter, go ahead and do that. Some students wanted theirs to be touching, so that the squares are touching. They're like really, really close together. Some of them liked the more mosaic look, where it looks like there's almost like concrete or something, or plaster in between, so they left spaces. I'm going to leave it with the spaces so that it looks more like a tile mosaic. You can also cut the squares. There are examples that I showed the students, I'll go back to my computer here, of some Go Foods where they cut them into triangles instead of the squares. So if you want yours to look more like broken glass instead of like square tiles, that's an option for you too. And notice that these ones, they did not do the background. This apple, the background was done. The banana was not. And this banana was actually done on a piece of cardboard, so it's a little sturdier. So if you have like the inside of a cereal box or a cracker box or macaroni box, you can use that too to make your project on, because sometimes it's a little sturdier. And then I have done a mosaic project like this when I was younger, and I actually just used pictures out of a magazine. So I just flipped through some old magazines and cut out some colors, and then I cut those out and then glued them down to cardboard. So if you're sitting at home and you're like, I do not have colored paper, I don't have all these materials, use what you have. Find a empty cereal box or an empty cracker box or macaroni box, cut it out, and then flip it over so it's not, you know, the printed side. Draw out your Go Food, your fruit or your vegetable, and then start searching through like old magazines or newspapers or whatever. Wrapping paper works good too, and cut out little squares or triangles or whatever shapes and then arrange them on there. You do not have to have fancy art supplies to do these projects, okay? Be creative, use what you can find at home, or maybe you're at grandma's house and grandma's got some like old scrapbooking paper. Maybe she makes cards, or your aunt does, or whoever you are with. See if they'll let you use their old scraps, the scraps of paper that they're not using, right? Because it doesn't take big pieces of paper to do this, right? You just need tiny pieces of paper. So if they're a scrapbooker or they make cards or something and they have like corners and extras that they don't use, they're going to throw away, see if they'll let you use that for your mosaic project, because they would actually be perfect for this. Okay, then, of course, as always, take a picture, show me what you got. These are the steps here just in case you forgot. So draw it, glue, cut and glue your little shapes. Notice that they have some triangles here too, and then arrange them on your drawing. And then, of course, the last step is to always take a picture and send it to me, because I